Bobby Heenan and Gene Okerlund come from the back to do play-by-play and colour commentary for the Gimmick Battle Royal ahead of us. Then we get the Gimmick Battle Royal. It's a nearly 4-minute match, which includes the Bushwhackers, Duke Droese, Iron Sheik, Earthquake, The Goon, Doink the Clown, Kamala, Kimchi, Repo Man, Jim Cornette, Nikolai Volkov, Michael Hayes, One Man Gang, the Gobbledygooker, Tugboat, Hillbilly Jim, Brother Love, and Sergeant Slaughter. Look, this is obviously silly, not obviously rubbish, and that's fine because it's it's not even 4 minutes. It's not even 4 minutes long, and we've just had TLC 2, and we've just had Vince versus Shane, and the crowd are knackered. And rather than give them another match where they'd have to get up and pop for big spots and big moments, they say, you know what, we're just going to wheel out some nostalgia. For those of you who quite like seeing old acts come back, you can watch them come out, all be introduced, and have a pop that way. Completely different type of emotion. For those who don't care, you can go and have a piss. You can go get yourself a beer. It does not matter. I think this is absolutely the right thing to be put in this spot at this point in time. I think anybody who disagrees is wrong, Matt, all right?
Just give me another right to censor type match, just do something like that again.
Why does it hurt you so much? It's 4 minutes. Come on.
This is just a prime example of, you can't have everything in life, you really...
Why can't you?
Because you can't. Because you get stuck with the Gimmick Battle Royal. Just when you think things are perfect and you found the one, you get the Gimmick Battle Royal. It dated the show. It really did, and it really did hammer home, how far, things had moved on. And it's just awful. I know it was quick. The entrances probably took most of the time and everything. I'll give them that little bit of credit. But why even bother with that? Like I said, just give me another right to censor type thing, for people who probably could have done with the airtime. Nah, doesn't wash with me that it was that quick. This was a blight on what could have been a perfect show. Not acceptable that it was there.
I actually think that this could have been better. So the criticism I have of it is not that it's there. I think it's perfectly right that it's there. They needed something here that didn't matter, right? They needed something that didn't matter. And they needed something actually that wasn't like, yeah, it was more, yeah, it was just a bit less intense, it was just a bit of like fluff. They needed something here. But I don't think they got the people they hoped they would get for it. I think there are lots of people that I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of exactly who I'm thinking about now, but I look at the group and I'm like, it's not really representative of some of the shit that they did in the past. Like, it wasn't that long before this that Henry Godwin, Mark Canterbury, was still in the company. Henry Godwin would have been the kind of person I'm expecting to see here, not Jim Cornette and Brother Love, who weren't wrestlers. You know what I mean?
I wonder if they thought they were going to get some of the old WCW people in. I wonder if they thought they were going to be able to get a Mr. Perfect in there and a Brutus the Barber Beefcake and a Virgil and Jim Duggan, stuff like that. Because there's it's what I've always found about the people. There's a really weird cross section of talent, because you've got like Hillbilly Jim, and then you've got the Goon, who I don't know anything about the Goon, but I believe he was like 95.
I think 96, and he
96.
was played by Bill Irwin, who had been around for quite a long time. He'd worked for World Class and various other places.
Yeah, and then you've got like Iron Sheik, and then you know what I mean. It's a real weird kind of cross section of people. I think you're probably right, but I'm with Tinky. I think this is perfectly placed. Again, it's 4 minutes. It's not taking up too much of time. The one criticism that I do have about it is I think Mean Gene and Bobby Heenan are absolutely rubbish on commentary. And I guess if you think about this in that context, Mean Gene is not a commentator. He never has been. And Bobby Heenan has been phoning it in horrendously as part of a 3-man announce team where all he needs to do every now and again is chuck in the odd one-liner if he feels like it. So it's not a surprise that they're so awful. There's context behind it, but they are bloody awful. Now, what I will say about it is that Earthquake still looks exactly the same, and he was 16 when this match happened. Earthquake. What I find really funny is that Nikolai Volkov, Tugboat, and Hillbilly Jim all look exactly the same as they did in their quote-unquote primes, which makes you think they must have looked bloody awful comparatively back in their primes. They got the old Arn Anderson genes, haven't they? I love that Iron Sheik wins, basically because he is the only one who probably can't take a bump over the top rope, so by default he has to win. Yeah, I think this is really fun. Like you said, Tinky, piss match. Go have a little leak. Treat yourself to a little piss, have yourself a little beer, go to the merch stand, and then you're not going to miss anything important, anything that matters.
The other thing that makes me think they didn't get the people they wanted to get is there's a lot of people from The Office here. So Bruce Pritchard, obviously, Jim Cornette, both from The Office, Sergeant Slaughter. Harvey Bippleman, Kim Chi, who's Brooklyn Brawler, all of them, Michael Hayes, another one, they're all from The Office. And you're like, come on, guys. You clearly, not a lot of people were willing to embarrass themselves in this match, but it's a shame because that was the whole point, is you're going to get in all the crappy gimmicks that you've got from the past. They could have even got some of the guys that were working for the company at the time who weren't on the show to redo some of their old gimmicks. Like Just Incredible was on the roster
Aldo
at this time.
Montoya,
Bring him in as Aldo Montoya, no problem. Get X-Pac dressed up as 1-2-3 Kid again. That's what I think this match was supposed to be, and it never really amounted to it. So I actually, rather than not happy that it happened, I'm not happy that it wasn't as good as I think it could have been. There was I think a different vision for this than what you eventually got here.
Thinking about it, if they were to do a Gimmick Battle Royal today, it would be rubbish because I'm looking at the 2013 roster, so I reckon you could maybe go. The problem is a lot of them are still there as well.
Yeah. Plus, I think the other problem is they had an Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania 30. So 10 years ago, that would just be that Battle Royal again.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.